Hello, everyone, and welcome to the world of the International Fab Talks. We are happy and glad to connect with one very special person. She's Dr. Neeta. She's here with us. She's joining us all the way from Mumbai, Maharashtra. And we love her for her work because she's very passionate with what she does. She's connected with mental health and she enables several people across the globe, not only in India, across the globe, to have a good thought process. The pattern of your thoughts should be in the right way. She enables you to have that in the right sense. Of course, she's been trained in various fields. She's like connected with different zones. I just like to tell you that here is a person with lots of awareness that she has created. And she herself has really been one wonderful person who's been contributing to the lives of the youth, the middle-aged, and the senior citizens. When you meet people like this, you'd love to learn more about their work and how their work would impact your lives. Join us, friends, to welcome our celebrity and guest, Dr. Neeta. She's here with us. Hello, ma'am, and welcome to the session, dear.
Hello, and thank you so much for the invite. I'm sure that this is really going to be a very enriching talk. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, dear, for being here with us. Friends, I go ahead and share ma'am's profile. Ma'am, I take your permission as well to share a profile, and then we start up. Yes, dear. Dear friends, it's always our responsibility and a honor to share the profile of our celebrities and guests. So here is Dr. Neeta. Let's get to know more about her, how she could impact your lives and mine as well. Dr. Neeta Mhatre Mishra, she is the founder of Reach Out. She's also the co-founder of Bloom and a co-author. She is a certified trainer, master NLP practitioner, not only on the national scene, on the international scene as well. She's a psychotherapist, Gestalt practitioner, and a wellness, sexual, and relationship coach. She's a wonderful mentor at Bringle Academy. She is a medical graduate who specializes in alternative system of medicine, a metaphor artist, a metaphor art therapist. She's connected with that. She's also connected with ABT. If many of you know that, that's good. Otherwise, she will explain that during this course as we discuss. And she's also connected with chromatography, that is color psychology. She is the brand ambassador. She is the brand ambassador for IDF and peace and happiness at IWPG, South Korea. And today, on special request, she's here with us to enlighten us. The only thing that she would love to focus is mental health. That is the need of the hour for every single family. You believe it or not, you accept it or not, in our family, we all have somebody or the other who is mentally not okay. They feel unwell in their mind. So let's get to know how we can take care of the loved ones in our family. It could be our own selves as well. Hello, ma'am, and welcome to the session. Over to you, dear. Would
Thank
love
you
to
so
know
much.
about you. Yes, dear.
So while knowing about me, first of all, I think this is a very brilliant platform for all the people who can come and share in their expertise, their experience, and also how they have contributed in evolving and also engaging. So I think this is a very good way to put forth the people into also bringing in awareness that you are responsible for the society, right? And though we tell that everything, whatever you do, is all about self, but society does matter. Ultimately, we are for the society and we would be for the society. So I think that is how I started my journey of being a psychotherapist. There was something which had happened in my own personal space, and when it was happening in my personal space, I saw in that I was not getting an appropriate help from the professional. And when I asked the appropriate help from the professional, and where the help was not declined but gave me reasons that there are a lot of work to do, and we cannot get it only one, that we have to focus on your problem. So I understood that it could be not only Neeta's problem, but it could be many of those Neetas whose stories are not getting being heard. There are many people who are not able to share what is happening in their own space. There could be many people who would be feeling what they are feeling and they are unable to even speak about it. So then is that whole journey of changing my field from a medical doctor to coming to becoming a psychotherapist, getting in certifications for doing counseling, getting in certifications for lot of small little courses. But I thought that this is not appropriate. I need to go much beyond that. I need to do something which is more in depth. And that is where I started getting into studying therapies. And while studying therapies, I also could also understand, is there something in me? Is there some pattern of mind which I need to change? Is there something in me as my belief, my mindset, which requires a change? And whole thing, when the journey of learning was happening, there were many things where I started unlearning. So today, if we talk about Mahabharata, right? In Mahabharata, when people tell, what do you want to become? Everyone tells that I want to become Sri Krishna. Everybody wants to become that Sri Krishna. And while asking, why do you want to become Sri Krishna? Because though Sri Krishna was not developed with his skills, but with life experience, he could understand why that skills are important. And during this life journey, I also associated myself that where I am going and where I am heading, I'm heading to understand the world. I'm going ahead to understand the society or the community. It is very important for me to understand myself as well as the society. And while I'm entering into the space of society, I need to be skilled. I need to be seeing how is my communication. I need to also be addressing certain issues if it is coming in that space. So I had to keep myself completely skilled and also make myself appropriately behaved so that I can listen to people. There is a lot which happens with hearing. Maybe a lot of people are just hearing, but there are very few listeners who are there who listen. And I think today in the world, we require people who have this space, who can share the space of listening, who can have compassion, and who can have that complete safe space, which is purely a non judgmental space. And here is where my chromatography, here is where my ABT, that is art based therapy, became very handy for me to make that space for my clients, to make that space even for myself, to make that safe space for a lot of students and also for single mothers. So I think the journey has been incredible. As I was embarking this journey, while embarking this journey, I also headed to also look after the LGBTQI community. And while taking care of the LGBTQI community, I understood that there was one very important element, the element of emotion, the element of abandonment, the journey of completely accepting the way they are without putting any lens, without even putting my story into their space, but understanding their story and understanding them as humans, not as tags that this is a female, this is a male, this is a trans, this is a, no, absolutely no. It was important to connect a human, connect to them and understand their part of journey also, which I think eventually has also made me much more compassionate and understanding that yes, it is important that we address this issue very sensibly, with a lot of compassion and also with love. So I think this has been an incredible journey, and I'm looking forward to contributing in much more lives wherever in whichever way I can. Thank you so much.
Yes, dear ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing that beautiful thing which you just shared just now, the way you explained everything about our mental health. Now, ma'am, I'd like you to share more about Reach Out. What is this actually? You are the founder of Reach Out. So how did this begin? And what are the services that you offer? Who are the people who could reach you?
So reach out, actually, I was been working in this space since a very, very long time. And while working in this space, when it comes to making your company, when it comes to making your papers, documents, everybody wants a name. And when I was thinking about a name, I thought that this is the best name, that is Reach Out. So Reach Out is basically an organization which is only into creating mental health awareness. We do create mental health awareness. We bring in workshops related to behavioral trainings. We do lot of corporate awareness program into wellness. And we also do some amazing program with the youth, which is to do with confidence, which is to do with rejections, which is to do with fear. And also while handling the community, how can we empower the community to become strong. So it can be through any skill, it can be through any mindset, it can be through some kind of activity-based learning. That is where Reach Out caters to. So Reach Out till date has been very happy to cater to a lot of people. I think we have almost touched 5,000 plus lives and almost 350 plus, I think, yes, 350 plus corporates where we have done amazing program in wellness, where we have done amazing programs in behaviorals, and also a very, very good program which is to do with stress and mindfulness. So that is the journey of Reach Out. Reach Out officially on paper is a 4-year-old baby, but of course it has been doing a lot of work past almost 8 years.
How sweet. I like the way you put this. It's a 4-year-old baby, but yes, the work started much earlier. It was 8 years earlier. That's really nice, ma'am. Now, ma'am, I have a very big question. Now, there are several youngsters who do not want to come forward and accept the fact that they are, undergoing certain turmoil in their mind or in the thought process. They don't want to accept the fact that they come up under that zone where they are called like mentally ill, or you could say not okay with their emotions. They're unable to deal with life. And they don't want help also. Now, this is the big question. I've met so many youngsters, especially between the age of 20 to 30. They're not ready for therapy. Now, how can we handle such individuals now?
So, as you have framed this question, my question to you is, if I talk about pass and fail, where will your first focus go?
Like, if you could repeat the question.
If I ask you a question that, these are the students who have passed and these are the students who have failed, where will your focus go? On which students?
On the failed ones.
On the failed ones, right? And when it goes on the failed ones, first of all, they feel that, do we have a problem? Oh, was I not brilliant? Am I not intelligent? Am I someone who requires that special attention where I am getting it? Right? We could have even focused on the past students, but what has happened is, right from the childhood, it is the conditioning of the society, of the parents, of the individual. Whenever a person goes out to even ask a solution for a problem, the person has been told that you are weak. And once it has been told that you are weak, the person does not feel good. And that is the condition of mental health today. I know I need help, but if I will go and ask for help, maybe Dr. Neeta would judge me as a weak person, as a person not having any understanding, as a person not able to solve his or her issues, as a person who is dependable. So, somewhere, as community, as society, we have come to this situation not because of anyone, but because of us. We have highlighted mental health as a big derangement. So, people, if they know, it's not only about the youth, it's also about people who are married, it's also about people who are senior, but they do not want to come out and tell, Ki, hey, look, I'm going out for mental health treatment. They might go and tell, Ki, today I'm going to a beauty parlor to get my facial done, but I will never tell that I'm going and seeing a therapist because I require that. So, though I am a therapist, while listening to so many things, it becomes even overwhelming for us as therapists. So, I also see my therapist because a therapist also requires a therapist. A teacher also requires a teacher. A student also requires a student. A doctor also requires a doctor. You cannot do your self-treatment. So somewhere we have to change the lens of the people through which they are looking at this as illness. When you have fever, you go and visit a doctor, right? When you have stomach ache, You might take some medicine, but still, if it does not go, you will consult someone. So, in the same way as a Bollywood movie, Munna Bhai MBBS said, the chemical locha which happens here, to some time you can solve it. But after some time, you require the help of actually professionals. You require the help of consultants. You require the help of therapists who will just navigate inside you and allow you to reach the path where you want to reach. So I think it's not about them, it's all about us. If we will change, probably the things will change.
Yes, dear. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for sharing your thoughts on that. Now, ma'am, the question here arises now with regard to gender. Now, we have the feminine gender, the women, because the women, they're able to manage their emotions. If they face something difficult, they cry it out. And after crying, they're just normal and they're going to the next phase. They're okay, fine with it. Many of them, including me, you could say that I'm able to handle it well. If I cry a little and then I'm done with it, I'm ready to take the next fight, take the bull by its horns. But there are the men, young boys and middle-aged people, men in particular, they're unable to take their emotions. Some of them drown themselves into alcohol if they have a breakup. Some, withdraw into their own shell. Some go into depression. They still did not get a job. So then this is what, going into their shell. Compared to women, men are unable to handle their mental stress. I feel like that. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. I would like you to share your thoughts and views on this.
So when we see the men and the female ratio, 100% you are right that female talk it out, but female, they do not talk it out. Now they mask it out. So actually, COVID did not teach us masking. We knew masking much before that. Somebody told us something, we felt hurted, but we never acknowledged and we never went and told that person, hey, look, because you told me this, I'm feeling bad. I actually felt bad for that girl who told me bad. But it was that person who is using wrong words. So I think we as humans, whether it is male, whether it is female, we all know to mask our emotions very, very well. And especially with the males, I am definitely totally in sync with what you said, that they do not speak. Because right from childhood, they have been conditioned, you are a boy. Boys don't cry. Boys don't talk. Boys are not allowed to do this. How? What people will tell? Shame, shame, poppy shame. And we do all these things for the boys. And we feel that the boys should communicate. People who get married, whether it is a love marriage or an arranged marriage. First, my husband used to talk a lot. But after marriage, he doesn't talk at all. Every person has his or her communication style. Every person has his or the way the person has been born and brought up. Sometimes, as humans, we also look at people and we model them. We look at the film actors, we look at the television actors, we look at the great cricket stars. When we look at them, we also start behaving like them. So sometimes, with the males, specifically with the males, when they see that my father has never spoken, my grandfather never made up an issue, so how can I make up an issue? And that is where they do not talk and they slip into either depression or they slip into suicide or they slip into something which is so bad as the substance abuse. And full time with the substance, with the drugs, they are completely only and only sleeping without even taking care of how do they look, how is their physical hygiene, how is their mental hygiene, in fact, how is their social hygiene, and of course, all these things affects the financial hygiene. So all these spaces of their life is completely deranged. And I think here is where, as supporters of society, of community, we need to break the myth that every person, whether it is a male or a female, requires mental health and also requires a good support from the mental health people. So I think we need to break the myth that boys do not have problem, boys can't speak, boys need not have to go and ask for support. I think this is the time where we need to break the myth.
Yes, dear. That's really nice, ma'am. Thank you for sharing. And I'm sure all the boys out there, this message is for you, all the girls also. It's for you. Speak up. There are people to help you. Like Dr. Neeta, you should really come out of that shell and take help. Now, dear ma'am, I'd like to know something about color psychology. Would you like to elaborate more about it? And many of them are unaware about color psychology. I think it's the latest one to be added into the field of psychology. So if you could share that.
So exactly what do you want me to talk about color psychology, or do you
Give
want
us
to
a hint as to what it is. Just what is it? And how
okay.
does color have
So
an effect on your moods and emotions?
so basically if you see that foods, okay, foods are basically very dark in color. It is always red in color, yellow, orange in color. So food is also one of the part of color. So color psychology basically is the study of all the behaviors of the people which is being scanned through a color. So where you see a place, all the logos, all the designs, right? Everything has a color touch. So if you see my reach out shows three colors. One is a black, which is an infinity sign. It is an infinity sign, like endless. So the support is going to be endless. It is not going to be that support ki only you come to us, then only we are going to support you. We will support you wherever and however you need us. While you see the blue color is extremely for bringing in the calmness. And when I put the out, which is red in color, that invites people to look at that out. That out is remove that stigma out that someone will tell you something. Someone might be talking that, oh, look, now this person is going and taking support. No, just remove that system completely out of your system. So color psychology basically is used for all kind of logos. It is used for designing. It is used for mood. It is also used for emotions. So when you go to a place which is having white in color, you yourself feel very elated. You always feel, good high on energy. Whereas you enter into a very shabby black color and you feel, oh my God, where have I come? This is too much which is happening. While you see a green color early morning, you feel, wow, it's so pleasant. So basically, color plays a lot with our psychology. In the same way, now it is also with sound. People have also started using sound also in psychology, understanding that sound also helps people to actually take away the mood of depression into a happiness zone. And there they have also, the researchers have seen that there is a good amount of dopamine release and the happiness level increases. So that is how the color psychology and sound psychology has been helpful as a tool to help and elate the emotions and the moods.
Yes, dear. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for sharing. Now, ma'am, I'd like you to give a message to all the young parents who are unaware that their children require a lot of support in the right way. They think by giving them clothes, toys, books, and all the materialistic comfort and neglecting the mental health of their child. Most of them do that. If the child cries, they just give them some sweet or an ice cream or a toy, and then that's done. They hardly ever spend time sitting down and asking as to why and what is hurting the child. So, I mean, all the young parents, at least let us save the younger generation.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
In
yes.
fact, I think, first of all, I would like to tell that please, please, please understand that it is okay to ask for help. I understand that right from childhood, our parents, they always teach us that please do not go, do not borrow, do not share, but fine, until unless you will not ask, you will not get. And I would also relate this to our mythology. We pray to God, not we pray to God only to ask, but we definitely pray to God, He take care of me, take care of my family. So somewhere we are asking. And while we ask, the God responds through prayers, right? In the same way, we are humans. Until unless you will not share your problem, until unless you will not talk about it, no one will come to know about it. So please ask for help. Second, very important thing is Do not deny the problem that I have an issue. I have a problem which has to be addressed, which has to be taken into consideration. Maybe it can be your problem, it can be your child's problem, or it can be your spouse's problem, or maybe it can also be your mother in law or your father in law or your parents' problem. Because when it comes with Alzheimer's, when it comes with dementia, definitely you need to take in a lot of help. And the help is not only for the person, the help is also for the caregivers. Because the caregivers do not understand how are they going to actually navigate during their emotions of storm, right? So that is the time when you require help. And third very important thing is, it's not important that you always have to be okay. It is okay to not to be okay. And not to be okay requires courage, requires vulnerability, and requires acceptance. Just do not put everything under the carpet. Make yourself accountable for your own health. If you are good, your family is good. And if your family is good, the whole world is good. But if you are not good, and the whole world being good does not matter. So, what matters is you who matters, your family who matters, and above everything, please remember that your mental health matters.
Brilliant answer, ma'am. What a brilliant way to share that. Excellent. That's really very nice. Thank you very much. Dear
Thank you.
ma'am, thank you so much, dear. Now, ma'am, there are some of the youngsters, the youth especially, they're oversensitive or highly sensitive, you could say. Okay, if I say over again, they'll be hurt again to whoever it applies. Now, they are highly sensitive. Now, even if somebody says something, they are hurt deeply. I didn't say it, but they told it to me and that hurts me. Or I did good for them, they didn't do good for me and that hurts me. And so they have again gone into that shell and avoid social interactions with others, stuck in their mind as to why that person hurt me, in spite of me being good with XYZ, and they kept on hurting me. And I don't want, I've lost faith in others as well, the good ones as well. So what is the message for such type of people? It could be just anyone, but the youth especially, I'm worried about the youth because they are the ones who will go forward and they create a better system.
Actually, they are the future leaders. So definitely we have to be considering the youth. Definitely they require a lot of help, they require a lot of support, and they require a lot of acceptance. The youth only today wants is acceptance, and they want that unconditional love. They do not want the love which is written like TNC applied. And everywhere it is not terms and conditions applied, and at least in love you cannot have the TNC applied. So I think for the youth I would like to give you a message that while handling your own emotions, I understand that you can be sensitive and you must be sensitive, but how sensitive are you? It also depends on the other person. Whatever the other person is doing for you, you do not forget who you are. Do not forget, do not leave your originality of being good, being compassionate, and being kind. And being kind and being compassionate is not for other people, but it is for yourself. Because you are the one who's staying in your body. If somebody says something, or if somebody has understood something, but the best part is it is about someone else. But the feeling which you undergo, the feeling of anxiety, the feeling of not feeling like sleeping, like insomnia, so all these feelings which happens is happening in your body. So it is important to understand, please do not completely borrow other people's emotions while listening to the story. It is always good to be a third person and listen to the story. Do not borrow emotions, do not borrow people's words, and do not borrow people's belief. When people talk about, hey, today I'm getting a very severe headache, and when you listen to this 4 times, the fifth time your head starts paining, right? So it is very important to break the pattern. While breaking this pattern, you will understand, you will be able to easily deal with your sensitive part. So you will listen to that person, you will help the person, but while helping and listening, you will always remember that now I am doing it with no result in hand. I am not expecting anything that I should get in return. So while you are not expecting anything in return, it will help you to solve your sensitive part. And please remember that in your sensitive part, do not allow people to have the remote of your feelings in their hand. Your feelings matter. Your emotions matter. So it should not be other person having the remote in their hand and telling, okay, now come on, I'm pressing the button of sadness. So you become sad. Okay, now I'm pressing the button of crying and you start crying. Do not give the remote of your life. Do not give the remote of your emotions into anyone else's hand. It only and only belongs to you. And here is your choice. And the power of choice is very, very important, because with this choice, you can make a complete standby for your own self. And while you do this, you will see that no one will actually make you sad. It will be only your narrative which can make you sad. And while your narrative is making you sad, your mind and your body still has power to tell that inner child, an inner part of you, hey, come on, keep your mouth shut. I am going to be strong and I'm going to be the best because I am awesome. I have my brain, I have my wisdom, and I can think on it. Right? So you can handle your sensitive part too.
Yes, dear ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and views with regard to that question. Ma'am, there are a few of the youngsters who I have met, and they are traumatized by the childhood abuse that they've been through. Seeing their parents in constant fight, or either the father dominating, the father being an alcoholic, or either ways. Let's not be gender biased here. It could be either ways. Who is at fault, we don't know. But constantly seeing the parents fighting, accusing each other, and the spouse is unable to separate. In spite of the fights, the parents are there together just for the sake of children. And when these children become adults, they suffer from childhood trauma and they're unable to take their life forward. They have these flashbacks in their own personal relationships with the opposite gender. Now, what is the advice, I mean, suggestion that you have for these youngsters?
So, first of all, I think now India has also started seeing a very big proportion of dysfunctional families. Here, the dysfunctional families is not only fight, alcohol, or substance. Here, the dysfunctional also comes with excess of money and excess of time, which is not at all there for the children. The children have been raised by someone else. The children have been taken care by the nannies, but the parents are not even aware what does my child like, right? And this is where we are seeing that we are creating a lot of harm in their adulthood because of this childhood trauma. The definitely the portion which gets affected is the not only the personal space, in fact it also affects the professional space. In the professional space also, there is lot of self doubt, there is issues related to confidence, there is issues related to self esteem, there is also issues related to image. So that is how the professional space gets hampered, as well as in the personal space. The first thing while it comes is we do not have trust on anyone. We cannot work in a team together. We cannot be with people who are not actually aligned with us, because I'm used to listening to that high voice. I'm used to listening to all those fights, so that always haunts. So my advice is, please, you can go take help of good therapist, or you can also reach out to us. Definitely we can help you, because anything, remember that any childhood trauma is like a game of kho. You always pass it on to someone, and you pass it on unknowingly. It becomes a problem to the other person also, and it actually affects a very major portion. So any trauma, any abuse, anything to do with even physical, substance, or verbal abuse requires intervention, and that intervention, and some of the intervention has to be done with the therapist sitting at their place, maybe online or professional, whatever, offline, whatever is available, but is certainly required to see a therapist, to see a professional and seek help from the professional. Only reading through the self-help books might not help. There have been some people who have been doing a lot of meditation and doing a lot of journaling, and after that also they feel that I have not yet got relief. So the thing is, you cannot treat yourself. You require a proper channel, you require a proper person who will take you through the process to remove the trauma. At least you cannot completely erase it off, but at least erase it off to that level where you can professionally and personally shine off in a better way. It requires help.
Yes, dear. Thank you so much, ma'am, for that elaborate explanation and good clarity that you've given. Thank you very much. Dear ma'am, we've seen the women out there suffering in traumatized relationships with their husbands. They wouldn't want to come out because society will, blacklist them, or the society will blame them. They're so scared that somebody will say something bad about them, even if it is not their fault. They are scared to step out of that marital bond, and they continue to suffer for years and years and years. Some may even die like that, or some find relief once the husband is no more. Now, what do you have to say for such people who are stuck up in unhappy marriages? Now, let's take it in both ways, irrespective of gender. Towards the end, like, let's put it further.
So I think one very important thing is, there are females who have started breaking the barriers and have started coming out, or there are male who have also started taking this step out of taking that step which is going to give them peace of mind, not pieces of mind. Okay, but the people who are getting stuck in this abusive marriage, abusive relationship, why are they getting stuck? My question to them is, why do they get stuck? So the answer is two. One, because now getting abused and regularly getting abused has become my identity. And when that has become my identity, I love to be in that comfort zone. I love to be asked by the 10 people, hey, did your husband hit you today? Hey, did your wife abused you today? Who did you help your wife in the kitchen today? So sometimes it is good to help your wife in the kitchen. It's not that you shouldn't be helping it out. But sometimes this problem is that this becomes the identity. And while this becomes my identity of having all these problems, it also becomes my comfort zone. My brain has got so used to beating, speaking loudly, using foul language, abusing. So while my brain is getting tuned to all those things, if I have been put in a place where people speak softly, where nobody is offending you, where nobody is embarrassing you, nobody is making the situations go bad, I might dislike it. I might feel that nothing is happening in my life, right? So at times it is important that I need to break my shackles and I need to stand for myself, to change my identity and also to make myself more uncomfortable so that my future will be comfortable. And I am scared to take that action. And that is where the whole point comes in. So people like to stick into that abusive relationship. People love to be among the people who are narcissist, because that has become my identification. My body recognizes that narcissist. My mind recognizes that narcissism. So I am comfortable with that identity. And hence, I do not want to take any step to come out of it.
Yes, Steve. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your thoughts and views with regarding to, the people who are stuck up in abusive marriages. So it's best to move out than to suffer there. You find an outlet and just move out from there. Do not become a victim to that, or do not be comfortable with all the abuse that you're going through.
Actually, it's also that you really have to take that step. Unless you don't take that step out, you'll not be able to work in any which ways. So the first step itself is very scary. And once you have taken the step, then you know that you're not going to be stopped. You're going to be unstoppable then.
Very true, dear. That's really very true. Now, dear ma'am, would you like to talk about, because you deal not only with the youth and the middle-aged, you also take care of the senior citizens. So in what way does Reach Out help the senior citizens with regard to mental health?
So, especially while dealing with the senior citizens, I have been feeling very, very bad that senior citizens do not have anyone to talk to. So they have been missing on the portion of talking and listening. While it comes to senior citizens, they love someone who's just listening to them. They have a lot of stories to share. They have a lot of experiences to share. So Reach Out is in that space where we conduct some kind of programs. Mostly it is programs which is to do with fun. Mostly it is to do with also energy, where they are using some of their dancing steps, and then they use some of their voice. So it is basically music, dance and singing, where we cater to. Apart from that, we have something which is very nice, is called as the listening circle. In that listening circle, we sit together and we talk and we listen to all the areas which has been challenging to them, which has been also difficult for them to navigate. So we listen to those experiences and we also understand why it is also important to look life at a different way. So I think this is what we do with the senior citizens. And they also love doing some kind of chantings. They also love to do some kind of prayer. This is also what we love to do with the senior citizens.
Please go ahead, ma'am. As I earlier mentioned, we have a power cut. You can
Yeah,
please
yeah,
go
no
ahead.
worries. I have answered the question.
Yes, dear. Dear ma'am, do you have any other question in your mind, or any other answer that you'd like to answer, like, or any topic that I didn't focus my attention on and you'd like to focus your attention on that?
So I think I'll just talk about emotions probably, because what happens is we are very scared to express anything and everything about our emotions. So, dear friends, I would definitely love to touch on the topic which is called as emotions. Why emotions is important? We all know that there are certain set of emotions, which is fear, anger, sadness, happiness, rage, irritability. And what happens basically to emotions is it is complete complex experience of consciousness, our sensations in the body, and the behavior which reflects the personal significance of a thing, event, or any kind of state of affairs. So it is very important to understand the emotion, understand the impact of emotion on your body, on your mental health. Also see that how is that emotion shaping you. So emotions can be expressed. Some people are not comfortable expressing the emotions. And while people do not express emotions, that is the time when we see that the whole issues, even in relationship, even in the professional space, as well as even in the social space. Like today, where we are seeing that a lot of youth has a lot of social anxiety. So they have a social anxiety because they feel that when they meet people in the social space, they are not able to speak what they want to speak. They are not able to express what they want to express. Or probably they feel that they might talk something which would be wrong. So it is important that we also have our emotions properly lined up and we express our emotions. Sometimes our emotions are the way, well, we understand ki is someone judging me and I'm not able to express my emotions. But what happens is actually nobody is judging you, because the whole world, let me tell you, friends, that the whole world is becoming so busy, and every day in, day out, they are being only and only busy. So it is very important that express your emotions, whether it is anger, but that is the time you have to take a bit of pause. While you take a pause and while you take a pace, anger, you will see, will shift. And then you will be able to talk. Yes, I was angry that time, but now I'm okay. While expressing emotions, while expressing feelings, while explaining thoughts, be very specific. What do you feel? How do you feel? And how does it also make you feel in your body? Because unless your thoughts, your words, and your actions are not in alignment, none of the things is easy to work with. Because in my mind I'm angry, but on my words I'm very happy, and in my body I'm feeling like I need to give one fight, right? So while all these things happen, it becomes difficult for the person to understand actually who you are, what you are, and how do you behave what you behave. So in emotions is a very, very integral space of us as humans, and it is important to understand because we humans have been made up of emotions. Today, if we bring in even AI for that matter, or chat GPT, until unless in that chat GPT we do not find the language of emotions, probably we do not accept that chat GPT's program also. When we bring in AI, ultimately we bring in good avatars. And the avatars, we want the avatar smiling, we want the avatars using hand gestures, we want the avatar using eye movement, right? And what are we over there doing? We are again looking and only focusing on the emotions. So with the AI also, if we are focusing on emotions, so might as well focus on the emotions of our near dear ones, because they definitely matter to us. So I think this was something very important for me to talk about emotions. And it's okay to be emotionally weak. It is also okay to be emotionally sensitive. It is okay to take care of the emotions. And it is also okay to be strong, as some people do not really want to be strong, but they need to mask it because of the work, because of the professional space. But that doesn't mean that the person will not be emotional. Thank you so much.
Excellent, ma'am. I really like the way you put all of that towards the end, be able to mask your emotions in the right way. That's really very nice. And you've explained about emotions in detail and depth. Thank you very much, ma'am. We look forward to many more interactions with you. Thank you so much. Stay blessed and stay connected. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Ms. Arpita, who has shared your contact details and enabled us to connect with you. And I've put in so many questions of different kinds. You've answered all of them so well. This shows that you have a lot of experience, and I would love the people to connect with you. Ma'am, if people would love to connect with you, what is the easiest way they could bond and connect with you, dear?
So basically, I am very active on my LinkedIn. They can write a message to me, or they can write an email to me on drneeta.neha@gmail.com. And it is not full doctor, it is drneeta.neha@gmail.com.
Yes, dear. Yes, dear ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you for being so polite and taking out the time. We wish you all the best, and we love, to be bonding with you in the future as well, because, you are an asset to this universe. People like you should be there, yeah, to enable all of us to be stable in our mind, body, and our social interactions.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And wishing International Fab Talks a very, very bright future, more success. Today, maybe you are I am at 403, and very soon you will be with 40,000 plus 3. So I'm sure that you will really reach to that success. Wishing you good luck.
Thank you so much, dear. It means a lot. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Stay blessed and stay connected, ma'am. Thanks a lot. Thank you. My dear friends, with this, we come to an end to the International Fab Talks for today. Stay connected with us and bond with us. Please do share this video with the right kind of people. Let them also benefit from the work that Dr. Neeta does and how she could enable you to have a wonderful future, overcoming all the negative emotions and concentrating on positive emotions, dear friends. And of course, if you love the International Fab Talk as what work we are concentrating on, if you love the work we do, stay connected and bond with us. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. Don't forget to keep smiling and spreading the word of peace, joy, and happiness. Love you all and stay blessed.